Smacking, cracking, and watching. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe.
7 seconds. Now streaming on Netflix. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Your girl is 50 subscribers away from my goal of 1,000. Finally, the time has come. 50 more. So if y'all watching this, hit the button. Help me out. Dang. We already know what the problem is. The problem is this young black male was a victim of a hit and run. This hit and run accident. He was left for 12 hours in the snow, which is horrendous, and he actually survived up until a little bit later on in the season. We know who hit him. It was Pete. It was Pete, the officer. It was a cover-up. They covered the whole thing up. What facts do we know? Blue paint transfer. Pete snuck up in the ER, and so we have this young, scared, deep voice, possible suspect, right? That's how we started this thing off. First off, I have to say, Latrice Butler, aka Regina King, round of applause. Homegirl did her thing. She was once praising and worshiping. She was so upbeat, and later on, she turned to just be so numb. She's mourning, she's worried. Her relationship with her boo Isaiah, her husband, it's diminishing. She's trying to piece together the clues, and that part you really like about her because you're never giving up. It's that motherly intuition. You're still pushing, and you still want to give justice to your son. That's the mom and all. That's the mother in you. That's the fighter in you, and you never give up. You eye of the tiger, right? Homegirl is trying to be thorough as possible, and later on, at one point, she just hella depressed. Ain't nothing, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sleeping in the car. I'm like, dang, girl, what you doing? Her husband came home and said, this house ain't even fit for an animal to sleep in, to live in. And I was like, oh, he bogus. He could have got a broom. But he got his own inner demons at this point, his own issues. You know, he got fired from his job. He's stubborn. He's prideful. At the same time, he's a father. He's a protector. And he's hurt too, but men handle things differently than us. You know what I mean? They process life differently where, you know, one of us is emotional, one ain't. But for them to fire him after that many years, that was kind of bogus. That was messed up. To see the fight with the brother, that was horrible too. He ticked me off though when he didn't have the courage, and he just didn't want to risk the embarrassment of telling his wife that he got let go from the job. That was one of those gotcha moments, right? But why is she sleeping in the car? Why are you sleeping in the car, girl? That's what I just wanted to hit her in the face, like, oh. I love the end of episode number 4. I love the end of episode number 4 because everyone knows. Everyone knows at that point. It was kind of like when the cup splattered on the floor in Usual Suspects. Everybody knows that the cops had something to do with it. We see the Dodge Charger with the 2 racing stripes across the hood. And Regina recognizes Pete, who was roughing up someone on the side of the road. Our witness, she recognizes the crew behind her while she's getting an interview at the police station. So everything basically from episode number 1 to episode number 4, those were the beginning main shifting, you know, gear shifts of this series, and I really like it. Now KJ Harper, what a dang on mess of a woman, a dang on mess of a prosecutor. This is a position, a job that you have to have your I's dotted, your T's crossed, be timely, have superior time management skills. This chick's timing is horrible. She's always late for the date, and I don't know the deal with, I was trying to figure out early on, what's the deal with her always smiling at him? You know, popping up at his house. Don't ever come back to my house. Old girl was like, don't you step back in my house. And I was like, tell her, girl. No, she's confusing her frustration for foreplay. You feel me? She kind of irritated me at the dad's birthday party because you can tell right there that she's distant from her loved ones. And they had the whole 63, oh, he's 64 years old situation. She don't even know. And when she smashed the champagne glass, it's just like she can't process things. She takes it to heart where it should be work. It seems like she maybe takes it personally. And that's a big problem in that career. Now, Pete, his dad's a user and an abuser. He's been through some stuff in life, and he's still going through it. So he's got his inner demons that he's still going with because he's guilt-ridden. You didn't kill this boy. You didn't try to help him. You didn't apply CPR. You called your crew. You didn't exactly call 911. You did, but you didn't, you know? Intentions. Eek. He lashed out on some pedestrians in the roadway. We know why. His wife didn't know why at that particular point. I'm like, oh wow, this guy's gonna he's burning out on both ends. Almost everyone at the midway point of the season was burning out on both ends. Burning out on birth. I said about to say birth ends. Now we got the crew. The crew is led by Mike D'Angelo, and I love him because he was in a show that was canceled. It was called Game of Silence. I actually really liked that series. It had Lorenz Tate with his flying self in it. Hey, little short daddy. But I let go. It's like I said, his crew has him, Wilcox, our boy Pete, and this guy Felix Azario, and they do everything together. They move as a unit. They go party as a unit. They try to keep it tight, family oriented. They're at the christening. They're bowling. Their wives know each other. They get money the right way. They get money the foul way, and blood in, blood out type situation. And they're still slowly burning out. They're slowly falling apart. And the trust is slowly diminishing. Who I do like in this series is Fish. Fish is the partner of KJ. And they kind of got something going on, but he's basically stereotyped. He is the stereotyped officer. And when I say that, I mean it as single man, relationships crap. He lives alone. He talks to his dogs as if they're his kids or they're his, only source of conversation. I love his apron. It says "Smack My B." His kid's not there, and he just falls into his work because his home life is non-existent, right? Some of the scenes I thought were pretty cool, man, was the sketch artist. The sketch artist, when Regina went to go meet with the sketch artist, it was impersonal as heck. Wasn't in a secluded room. It was impossible for her to concentrate and get those details out there. I was yelling at the TV at one point. I'm saying, yeah, can the drug task force, can the crew just walk past so she can recognize Pete when it happens? She'll see it. I'm like, walk past, and it would have been too early on. It all happened perfectly when it did at 4. American flag. The American flag sways almost every episode in this series, and I just think it's perfect. It's typically behind Pete, and I love it. Jersey City Police interview. Do you remember? Everyone basically said, I do not recall. And I just want to give props where props are due, because whoever wrote that scene, whoever wrote that particular part, that scene gets 100%. It's accurate, and shouts out to them. Ironing the money. When old boy was ironing the money, and he had the skull bone tats on his hands, the skeleton bone tats on his fingers, lacing up the Timbos and Timberlands play such a huge role, thing in this series. I thought that was a really cool scene too, when chasing him and ripping his jacket. That was cool. And then we dry erase board that said BS, definitely BS, and Tenable. Thought that was cool. To see Seth about to serve this chick who looked like a strung out crackhead. Y'all remember that series called In Too Deep? I'm not serious. It was a movie, In Too Deep, with Omar Epps. What's my man? Ladies Love Cool J. I don't know why I couldn't think of LL Cool J. Shame on me. LL Cool J. And there was a girl. She was a cute girl. And then later on, she was like a crackhead. And anyway, that scene reminded me of her in Too Deep, because, matter of fact, that was my homegirl from the Book of Negroes. And she was my homegirl in Quantico, who was, yes! Go ahead. Why can't I think of her name? I don't know. I can't think of her name right now. Anyway, and she was in Eddie Griffin, where he's like he had the fro lady. Anyway, she was in that too. But he has the opportunity to serve this chick who he grew up with, and she got kids in the backseat, and we later learned she was doing some giving dome to people. It was just real reckless and ratchet, and it's still showing, hey, he's doing wrong, but he still has morals. And can you have that can you dibble and dabble in both worlds, Seth? Okay, so when it came to Nadine McAllister, our witness. I thought she was off the chain. I thought she was a little nasty, a little fast, disgusting, little trifling, little ratchet little girl. She broke into Fish House, and I just knew at that moment that the crew, the drug task force, whatever they do, the gang unit, I just knew they was gonna go. I just knew they were gonna be like Gortada, and they were just gonna blast Fish all up in his face. I thought they had his dogs cut from rooter to tutor, and I'm just not even gonna lie with y'all. That's what I thought was happening. But for him, it seemed like, his daughter's gone, so he wanted to father this chick, and he kind of gave her that type of vibe. But she was weird, and she was like, oh yeah, you want some of this, huh. That was odd. Trees popped up at the grocery store on Pete, and I thought that was one of those off the chain scenes, because I'm like, yes, confrontation, we want it, the neighbor saw it, we have witnesses, give it to us, say what we want you to say what every mother of a slain child or slain whoever, someone who's been victimized, wants to say to the suspect, right? And that's what she did. And what did he do? He flipped it on her. Isaiah was tripping. Isaiah has every right to be upset. Please believe it. But the way he trashed his son's room was like he was swinging this bat instead of a wooden Louisville slugger. I mean, he had the worst T-ball swing. This is my kid's old T-ball bat. And I mean, my kid can knock it to the fence. That boy wouldn't have got it past home plate. He would have fouled out. His swing was so weak. Ozario at Fish House, that was mad creepy. I'm not even gonna front. It was, as I like to say in my reviews, fishy. To know that they kept the grill as insurance, and I'm like, dang, well, where is the grill located? In his pool? You mean to tell me y'all kept the grill to set that boy up? And y'all, just shadiness, just low down dirty dog. And what did she say? She ain't gonna have his baby when it came down to it. She cracked in court, y'all. Oh my God. Okay, so rewind just a little second. It boils down to the SUV and the grill. It boils down to the grill locating it, which, like I said, she told the location at the dang on courtroom. She said it's not missing. It's in his backyard. What? Dang. Then hurry up and get there. We get to the garage. He done choked this girl. And here's my beef too. Y'all doing all these side hustles. You've been working for the PD for how many years that you got your girl driving a Corsica? No shade to anybody out there driving a Corsica. My cousin had a Corsica, except the driver's seat and the passenger seat kind of had a twist to it. It was broken, so you never quite could sit right. You just would have to be at a slant. If you're watching this, big cuz, I'm sorry, girl, but your car was kind of trash. Trash Master 2000. This show is showing the agony that a family endures during this time of the healing of it all. And they also showing the agony that the victim is battling inside their own head and trying to hide it, confront it. Is there a way to live with all of what you've done on your shoulder? That's a hard monkey gorilla sitting on your back. Now, to see old girl smoking that cigarette right by the pool, and when she discovers what's up in there, that was too much. She already ain't wrapped too tight if you're willing to smoke a cigarette and you know you're with child. My beef the other day, I was driving downtown and I saw a chick with about a 6-month little baby bump, something sitting in her oven, and she was just, I was like, puff, pass it. I was like, where are your priorities at? You're just ruining this child before this child even had a chance to say, mama, dad, goo goo gaga. So wrong. Live your life right, act right. There are some funny points in this show. I guess it's not so funny, but it was funny to me when she said, oh, she's carrying Wilcox's demon child. That was funny. There are redemption points, like Isaiah saving that young man's life. There are a lot of payoffs and under the table deals going on, under the table takeovers. Nadine is dead. Messiah's dead. Seth lost in his own life. D'Angelo played KJ. He played KJ by giving up that body cam footage to the lawyer, which was pretty shady, bogus, all the way bogus. But the moment of redemption I felt was that when Isaiah, the daddy, sat next to D'Angelo outside of the courtroom, he said, I'd kill you myself, but then I'd be no better than you. And I said, dang, powerful point of this dang on series. Very powerful.
So in the end, Pete got 364 days. Wow, that's kind of weak. That's bogus. I don't know if the average person would get that if they did the same crime in that jurisdiction. What a series. What a series. Outstanding cinematography, outstanding script, outstanding audio, outstanding everything. The cast, David Lyons, Regina King, definitely my homegirl who played KJ. Everyone involved in this project did an outstanding job. Netflix, you have done it again. Make sure y'all hit subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff.